Welcome back to KTN News. We're having a conversation with the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Mombasa Road, who's also the Cabinet Secretary for Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora. You're talking about different issues that is touching on Kenya's foreign policy, the benefits that we have seen in terms of the trips that have been made by President William Ruto, and also the high-level visits that we've seen here in the country. Thank you for still staying with us here on KTN News. Now, we were talking about the statement by President William Ruto about Kenya being a visa-free country. But then the question that Kenyans would ask, a visa-free country, how is it going to benefit us? Because we are making revenue out of the visa applications that are being done for a foreigner to get into the country. Now we are removing it.
I think you're looking at it, if you look at visas as a source of revenue, then we are missing the plot. Right now, Kenya's tourism numbers are at about 1.4, maximum about 1.4 million tourists on an annual basis. The tourism research players here indicate, and they have the data to show that that can happen, that by 2027, if we allow more accessible, Kenya to become more accessible, we are going to grow these numbers from that 1.5 to about 4.5 million by 2027. Now, you tell me, if all those tourists were coming in, forget the $50 application fee for a visa.
But that is not little money.
No, just forget it for the time being. And now look at it in terms of what is the spin-off in terms of the growth to tourism and what it would mean to the revenue in this country. Hotels are closing in certain areas. As we stand here, as we speak, Intercontinental Hotel is closed. Hilton Hotel is closed. I don't know if Crown Plaza is functioning to the maximum. I think it's closed. How many jobs are being lost and all that? So if we continue looking at it that this is it, let us get people in, let us get conference tourism coming in, let the inflow of people, so that we can have the demand for more beds will arise, the demand for more interpreters will arise, consumption in these hotels will grow. It translates into a multiplier effect down the value chain. Food, farmers, and everybody getting more. So this is how you grow the economy.
So do we expect other countries to...
And Seychelles, as an example, Seychelles is perhaps the top-notch country in terms of visa-free. Their tourism is booming. There were countries in the region that continued to restrict. When they realized that the tourism in Seychelles was growing in leaps and bounds, they quickly now went ahead to also say, no, we must also remove the restrictions around visas.
All right.
And here it's like Mauritius and others. So in the process, you get your economy getting an injection. So we need to look at it in that context.
So, but then the question would be, do we expect other countries to do the same for Kenya?
Some will, and others will not.
Are you in talks with them to do that?
Yes, we do. We talk. All the time we talk. We always encourage other countries to also be more open and allow a visa-free engagement. I gave you the example of South Africa. You now just check the flow of people moving between Kenya and South Africa. It has shot up. All right. Our friends Angola who are here, we told them that we are ready to do this. We've opened up. They say they have their own internal processes. We hope they'll open up. Rwanda has opened up. Rwanda made such a statement. In Africa, Benin, Gambia.
And what about beyond the African continent?
There are quite a number of countries that
are you in talks like with the US, the UK to do the same?
It is a gradual process.
All right.
Okay. But we look at it also from this perspective. It is not a tit-for-tat arrangement. Sometimes issues can be reciprocal, sometimes they don't have to be reciprocal.
Okay.
Now we need to look at it this way. Who is in more dire need to grow numbers of people coming in? It's us. It's us who want to grow our tourism. It's us who want to have more people coming in from Europe so that they can go to the Maasai Mara, they can go to the coast, they can go to Mount Kenya, they can go to Western and look at the Kakamega forest and other things. It is us.
Right.
So we have to be the ones to have the more serious initiatives.
All right. So then what systems are we going to put in place as a country to ensure that we keep at bay unwanted people? And this, I'm talking about matters security of the country.
There's always the advanced passenger information system, which is, as we speak, is already in force. Through the communication agencies, if you're looking at it in the context of those that come through our airports and our ports, you get information on these passengers. And when they do come, obviously, as they come, you also get their records as they move into the country. Right. So our security agencies and all this have already thought through this process. Right. But let me also say this, that we want to keep away undesirable elements. These are the criminal elements. But let me also just point out that it is also a fallacy to assume that is when you have a visa regime that you are secure. If you will reflect and recollect, the terrorist attacks we have had here in the past were there, but we were under a visa regime. So the security aspects is beyond visa. It is beyond the visa arrangement. Right. You have to do much more on other aspects of security. Don't let Kenyans panic that their security is now compromised because of Kenya becoming a visa-free. And I've given you the example.
All right.
Garissa, unfortunately, it took place. We were in a visa regime. The Dusit, the bomb blast, and what have you. Part of these challenges were not about people coming in. Part of these challenges were radicalized people who were already inside our borders.
Right, thank you for making that clear. But then, how is your relationship with Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua? The reason as to why, okay, it's good you're saying that it's excellent, but the reason as to why I'm asking you this question, it's because there have been talks that your political relationship with the Deputy President is shaky.
No, it's not true. It's not true. Absolutely. It's a rumor.
It's a rumor?
Yes.
So we treat it as a rumor?
Yes, it's a rumor. Ignore it.
So why do you think there are political talks that the relationship between you and the Deputy President is shaky?
You're asking the person. That's me. And I'm telling you, ignore it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You will take it as a rumor?
Yeah.
So where do you see the country in the next 4 years?
I think it's going to get better. Kenya is going to get better. It's on the right track. Very critical measures of stabilization have had to be put in by the government, driven by the president. Painful decisions, but those are stabilizing measures so that we can now get our trajectory on the rise again.
So you are saying that painful decisions will have to be made. Some of them have been made for the sake of the country and the economy, but Kenyans are already feeling the effects of some of these taxes that the government has put in place.
You know, if you are to look at Kenya as a patient in a hospital, for quite some time we've been walking and assuming that all is well. All right? But then you reach a stage, and after some diagnosis, you're told, if you don't start sorting yourself out, if you don't start getting certain medical care, what appears to be a strong individual could deteriorate very fast. Okay? And that is where Kenya has been. One of the most painful decisions that the government of Kenya had to make was to move away from the fuel subsidies. Not a pleasant decision, a very painful decision. But the hemorrhage that the fuel subsidies were causing to the economy, it was only a matter of time and it would have exploded into something else. And we were about to get there. So that decision was made. Okay, I'm giving you a classic example. We entered, because we were entering into an election, the previous regime deliberately or artificially was shoring up the Kenyan shilling against the hard currencies. So the full market forces were not taking place. Why were they propping up the shilling artificially? It's because they knew we were going to an election, so they did not want the people or the voters at that time to try and to realize that the prices are going up, because it would have been a very costly political decision when you're going into an election. So they are deliberately propping the shilling against the hard dollar. After the election, what do? The reality has to unfold. And the reality has unfolded, apart from other issues like the interest rates being hiked in the US and so forth.
But aren't you not concerned about the voices of Kenyans, because this is a government that was rooting for the hustler nation to change their lives, but that is not what some Kenyans are getting?
Yes, we are rooting for Kenyans. I talked about stabilization, and it is important that we do it. We have to get the fundamentals around the economy right. Even that hustler, if we keep on giving the hustler a lie and living a lie, we will eventually be hurting that hustler more. So we need to get the country right. We need to get the big fundamentals right. The debt portfolio that we were dealing with, you have to stop the hemorrhage somehow. You know, the president has been saying it, and I would want to echo his word. They are convenient decisions, and they are right decisions.
Right.
Okay? So, if I want to make convenient decisions, I will go to the podium and tell them that tomorrow I'm reducing the price of sugar. And I'll get the applause. All right? A fake communication. Because you're telling them you're going to reduce the price of sugar. That sugar factory, have you reduced the cost of power in the production of the sugar? Or is the Mumias Sugar Factory or Zoya or Sony still paying the same electricity bill for their manufacturing?
So according to you, the president has made the right decision?
Yes, he is making right decisions.
All right.
And you know, this, let me say this a little more, because it's so important. In this connection, the government usually has basically only two avenues to get resources for development. One is through taxation. That is local revenue, tax revenue. The other is borrowing. So you go into debt to fund your your programs, or you raise the local revenue. Now the country has been in a very precarious position. The debt agenda had become difficult, and it is still difficult. So you stabilize so that you minimize the level of distress, and then you ease out. Because just the interest rates alone, let's just take the interest rates alone on this, particularly external debt. We are being forced to pay high interest rates on those debts. Can you imagine if we were now using that money to do the roads instead of paying interest? Just imagine that. So we have to stabilize. We have to get the economy back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even as we stabilize the country in terms of bringing back the economy to where the Kenya Kwanza administration wants it to be, we've seen the president rooting for Kenyans to go work abroad. How is it going to meet our economic needs as a country? Because I mean, these are Kenyans who will go abroad, they'll be taxed there, they'll be building the economy of a foreign country.
Have you looked at the numbers on remittance from Kenyans working abroad lately?
Not really.
To stabilize this economy and to help us. I think the diaspora remittances have literally surpassed all our exports. Give them credit. Your Kenyan diaspora is remitting more money today than any single export in this country. So it is it's an asset, it's an investment. So a Kenyan going to work in Saudi Arabia, or going to work in South Africa, or going to work in the US or Australia, and then having the commitment to send money back is an asset to this nation. The money they are remitting is helping us to improve on our balance of payments. Can you imagine if they stopped remitting? What would be the impact on the shilling? So they should not be chided. They actually need an accolade now. The Kenyans in the diaspora need to be respected because it's different. Okay? Nations like Philippines, their diaspora has been a big anchor in the development of that country. India. Have you ever just sat down to imagine what would be the remittances that go back to India from the Indians in the diaspora? And how it contributes to the growth of that nation. So Kenya is becoming a big beneficiary of our Kenyans working abroad. So they're an asset, and we must look at them that way.
All right.
Okay? And the money they bring here will also fire some of our programs on the local scene.
But has the government actually cross-checked the standards required for labor force for countries within the EU?
Yes, as we negotiate. I remember I told you that as we started the conversation here, that there are very serious negotiators and knowledgeable people in government, all right? They do. In the negotiations and the conversations, they do. For instance, what the president wants to push now for a place like Germany is to find an opportunity for skilled workers in that place. Okay? We want to graduate from what you would call the traditional service workers, so that you're not just saying that we are sending housekeepers and so forth.
Unskilled workers?
By the way, even in housekeeping, there's a lot of training that goes into it. They are skilled, but not exactly so we are looking at it from different perspectives. And I can tell you that we are now working on negotiating opportunities to send some of our medical people, some of our other engineers, some of our other people in the agricultural sector to go out and to also contribute to their own livelihoods and to the growth of those countries, and in the process we get the remittances.
But aren't you not keen on the sort of sectors that you're sending out? Because when you mention medical, already as a country we're seeing the medical fraternity, the union, saying that we still need more.
We still need more.
Yet we are saying we need to take them.
We give them an opportunity to go. You don't deny your people an opportunity if there's a chance there. Let them go. And all we do is build more capacity. Yeah, we train more, and others can go into the export arena. We can export labor. We can export skills. Let's do so.
Right.
But at the same time, we continue building capacity.
All right.
Yeah.
And in UAE countries, have we addressed the issues of the welfare of Kenyans as much as we want to send them to these countries?
Yes, those are issues that are being looked into. We want to be more. I know the Minister for Labor and even people within the Foreign Affairs have been working onto this particular issue much more closely. And even, God willing, Kenya is set again to also have an economic partnership agreement with the United Arab Emirates, as an example. And in the process, some of these issues will be again taken into account. We are also looking forward to eventually concluding again the agreement with the United States. So it is broad-based. Yeah.
All right. We're about to come to the end of this conversation, and one of the thorny conversations within the security region in terms of us offering our peacekeeping mission, and not only a conversation within the political scene in terms of the opposition, but even amongst Kenyans, Kenyans are asking the Haiti conversation, why not send KDF? Why are we sending the Kenya police for a peacekeeping mission there? And we know that countries that have done it have not had a successful peacekeeping mission. How successful will we be as a country?
You see, the United Nations made a resolution, and it talked about assisting in terms of criminal elements in Haiti. And upon the request of the Prime Minister of Haiti, the United Nations said that they defined what they want. And to them, the support they needed was more of the policing aspect, not militarization of the engagement. So we go by the request that has been made and has been approved by the United Nations. In the past, we have had other requests because Kenya has been stronger in this area. We have been in East Timor. It was a military. We were in the ECOWAS, Namibia, Kosovo. Kenya has had a part in peacekeeping efforts there, even within the framework of UNISOM in Somalia earlier. So we have those credentials, which is a plus for the discipline and the competence of our security organs. So in the case of Haiti, we are not going there for a military conflict. Yeah. The Haiti agenda is to try and tame the criminal elements.
All right.
And it is not a unilateral decision of Kenya. It is a process that will involve other countries. Jamaica has already committed some police people as well. There are other countries on the African continent that are also saying they want to put people there. Canada, we have been in touch with them. In fact, they've been more of the nation that has really invested in trying to help Haiti stabilize.
All right.
So it's a broad-based thing.
All right, and we've run out of time. 2
Yes.
minutes as we wind up. The M23 incident, you know, an announcement made in Kenya, which has not gone well with the DRC leadership. How are we trying to undo what has been done by a foreigner in our country?
I think we have already addressed that issue. I issued a statement,
Yes.
and I made it very clear that Kenya is not involved in the internal affairs of any neighboring country to their detriment. The DRC are having their elections right now. Yesterday they voted, so I think they'll soon declare the outcome of that process. So to me, anybody would be trying to blow it out of proportion. Secondly, here you are, a media outlet. We have the Constitution of 2010 in this republic. The gains we have made by that Constitution has also made this a regional media hub. Every big media house is here. I don't know whether that is a positive or negative.
It is a positive thing.
It is a positive thing.
Yes.
And can you imagine if you'd have to get government clearance to talk to people? How would that be? So you send me a message and you say, as KTN, you want to interview somebody, you want my clearance.
You will not get there.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
Can you see what we're also trying to defend here?
Yeah.
You know, so we should not be vilified. More so by our own people.
Okay.
Because we are also trying to say that Kenya is a hub, and it's a nation where we want a free media, a vibrant media,
Okay.
and we cannot gag our media,
All right.
and we should not be put in a situation where we gag our media. All right?
All right.
But we maintain friendly relations with our neighbors, and we shall always defend the right of the media to also interview and talk to people.
All right.
And we are not about to be told, restrain your media. What we will all safeguard, you included and others, is that we do not have any security threat.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that is what is important. I hope I've
You have answered my question.
I hope I've
You
answered.
have. Asante Sana.
Thank you
For talking to us here on KTN News. We've been talking to the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Musalia Mudavadi, who is also the Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora. My name is Brenda Zadaradido. Enjoy the rest of the viewing.
But maybe let me just wish the Kenyans.
You want to wish Kenyans happy?
Yes.
Okay, this is your moment.
A prosperous Christmas and
Actually, this
and
is
a
your
happy.
camera.
I wish them a prosperous, a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. It's important, and we hope that the challenges we are going through, we shall, and I can tell you, it will happen. We shall systematically get out of these challenges, and we look back and wonder why were we so worried.
All right.
Yeah.
And allow me to tell you Merry Christmas
Yes, please.
and a Happy New Year.
Thank you.
We shall meet in 2024, God willing.
We will.
Okay. Asante Sana. Enjoy the rest of your...
I'm sure God will will it.
Yes, God
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your viewing. My name is Brenda Zadaradido.
Thank you.